Mark and Jaclyn.
Thank you, Chairman McCall, and other members that are in attendance today. We really appreciate it. My name is Jaclyn Schmitz. I'm the stepmother to Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz, who was killed just at the age of 20 on his first deployment to Kabul, Afghanistan, at the Abbey Gate. At the Abbey Gate bombing on August 26, 2021. I'm going to share a little bit about Jared first. I remember the day I first met Jared. A shy 6-year-old walked in to greet me with a white stuffed bunny. He never spoke a word that day, but when I thanked him, his smile melted my heart, and his shy eyes gleamed at me. And it's that smile, even in new or uncomfortable situations, that has warmed the hearts of so many people. And that's a smile now that we can only dream of. Through the years, Jared knew no stranger. He was an easygoing kid and embraced friends from all walks of life. He never had any judgment and always found commonality. Growing up, he had a stepbrother that was 1 year younger than him and 2 little sisters, all of which annoyed him regularly, I'm sure. It wasn't always peaceful or easy being the oldest in our home, but Jared knew just how to balance the scales of chaos. He did it without complaint and keenly knew just how and when he was needed. Even though the Marines was a perfect fit for Jared's personality, we challenged him about that reality. You know, this is not the call of duty. This is real life. But Jared was persistent and dedicated in his path since sophomore year of high school. He always saw the positive in everything and told us that this is exactly what he was meant to do. By this time, Jared had a different demeanor. It was as if his confidence took on a new form. Still childlike innocence, but that shy, timid Jared was nowhere to be seen. He had found his calling. Before he even turned 18, Jared enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps with the Parent Permission Program. But even prior to that, he trained religiously. Runs in the snow, workouts in 100-degree temperatures, and when he was done, he always smiled, that infectious smile. Barely an adult, Jared could not have been more excited to move on to the next steps of his life, the few, the proud, the Marines. In fact, Jared's favorite song was Hero of War, and it blasted nonstop for nearly a year before Jared was sworn in July 8th, 2019. Little did we know, this song would take on a whole new meaning when we got that knock at the door at 2:40 a.m. Jared, a hero that wanted to help people, and he looked to our military to make a difference. A hero that trained countless hours and weeks to be pulled into a messy and unnecessary evacuation, being called to handle government paperwork and stand guard to keep order as chaos continued to grow at the Abbey Gate. Mark and I have met a few Afghan families that Jared had personally helped. And that leaves us beyond proud that he changed the lives of so many and died doing exactly what he intended, helping those that couldn't help themselves. But what I still struggle with most is how this was all avoidable and the continued lack of information, help, and accountability and justice from the government. I know from recent testimony that the suicide bomber had been identified for days, yet our men were ordered to stand down. I also find it very frustrating that since day one, our family was lied to. We were pitched a well-executed defense and evacuation, and ultimately spit in our face by referencing the evacuation as an extraordinary success. Is losing 13 of our servicemen and women successful? Is success ending a 20-year war where veterans feel they fought for nothing They lost their brothers and sisters in arms for nothing. Is success hundreds of other people seriously wounded? As more information has unfolded from the frontline military, I now understand why the Pentagon sat in my dining room and tried to persuade us of details that at the time made no sense. They touted full medical treatment locations, scheduled timings of shifts, and the level of security measures taken with barriers of protection and the reasoning for the chosen Abbey Gate. Our last call with Jared was that he was going on break and then heading out to the airstrip. That's not what happened at all. He never got that break and was actually pulled to the Abbey Gate that was supposed to close hours prior. All our family ever wanted was answers, and nothing has ever added up. One piece of information would conflict with another, and ultimately there was never any physical evidence. I've never been one to follow politics much, but unfortunately when we lost Jared, we were thrust into a political situation, and I could see clearly that everyone had their own agenda. All we wanted were answers. We leaned on our local politicians that spoke outwardly on our behalf, but nothing ever came of it. Here we sit 2 years later. The general public recognizes the sacrifice and unnecessary loss we endured. Yet Biden continues to play ignorant to our 13 as it stains his reputation. The military has values much like our Christian family, those of integrity, societal generosity, person of principle, belief in something bigger than yourself, being a leader, being valorous, taking responsibility for your actions, never forgetting those that were killed, and never let rest those that killed them. As a grieving family, I repeat, we just want answers. Why is it that 2 years later we still don't have any information? In fact, more questions are being raised. Again, I'm not a political expert, but I only see much beyond this committee, that not both sides of our political parties are helping our 13 families. I don't understand what they are trying to protect, why some politicians are so afraid to dig into the Abbey Gate disaster. Why is it so hard to get answers from the president and top military leaders? After all, many of those leaders took the military oath and are missing the values I just mentioned earlier, especially being responsible for your actions and never let rest those that killed them. Don't you think it's time for answers? Jared, David, Nicole, Taylor, Ryan, Hunter, Riley, Dylan, Kareem, Johanny, Humberto, Max, and Deegan are not just casualties of war. They are sons and daughters, brothers and sisters that were pawns in some agenda, and we deserve some information and collaboration from all political parties. It may not be easy or on your specific schedule or docket, but neither was any of this for all of us until it was. Our military was created to protect us, but leading up to August 26, 2021, they were not given that opportunity. The deck was stacked against them by agendas and decisions we still don't fully understand, and many of our politicians are leaving us to die of absolutely no closure, no information, and no accountability.
Thank you. Thank you.